Thank you for tuning into the AM edition of Newsfeed here on Newzroom Africa. I'm Mpho Sithole. If you've just joined us, a very good morning to you. Now, the National Union of Metal Workers of South Africa rejects the appointment of Jabu Mabuza as the acting CEO of Eskom. Minister of Public Enterprises Phakamile Gordon appointed Mabuza in the position last week. Mabuza is expected to serve for 3 months while the board looks for a suitable candidate. He also holds the position of executive chairman of the Eskom board. Joining me on the phone line to explain their objections is Numsa national spokesperson Phakamile Hlubi-Majola. Phakamile, a very good morning to you. Thank you for joining us. Eskom reported a staggering loss amounting to 20 billion rand. We learned of those financial results, again bringing into sharp focus the serious doubts of whether the power utility can remain afloat. You've raised some concerns over management. What are some of those concerns for you?
Good morning, Mpho, and good morning to your viewers. Yes, indeed. As Numsa, we have raised some serious concerns about the decision taken by the Minister of Public Enterprises to appoint Jabu Mabuza to the position of the Group CEO of Eskom. We feel that this cannot be correct, particularly as Jabu Mabuza is a member of the board. As a member of the board, he is actually part of the problem. We've always said that the board and the executive management team of Eskom should be removed because they do not know what they're doing, and they've demonstrated this with this 20.7 billion rand loss. It is really astonishing for us, and we don't understand why the minister would see fit to then reuse the very same people who have failed to lead this SOE and turn it around and rely on them to continue in this work. But to make matters worse, Jabu Mabuza is now not just the chairperson of Eskom, he is now the group CEO. We are raising issues around that too. What does this mean? Does this mean that the CEO, because generally speaking, the CEO has to report to the board. This is how it works. So Jabu Mabuza will be reporting to himself. There's serious questions of accountability and process that we're raising here. And we are exploring our legal options in relation to that because we do not think that it is proper.
Now, with the legal options that you're now exploring, what will be at the crux of your legal implementation on Mabuza?
No, for us, the key issue here is we do not think, excuse me, that we are questioning the lawfulness of having the chairperson also act in the role of CEO. That for us is the issue that we are going to be raising with our attorneys. But secondly, one of the other issues that we have raised as Numsa sharply is the fact that Jabu Mabuza should be removed. We've said this even in February when we released our statement, we said that Jabu Mabuza needed to be removed because by his very own admission, he is conflicted. He has business interests in Eskom, and he continues in the role of board chairperson of Eskom, and yet his family has benefited from their business dealings with the SOE. That is problematic, and we don't understand why the minister doesn't see an issue with that. But also, we've gone further, Mpho. We've said in our statement, and we are repeating this demand, that the minister himself, Phakamile Gordon, should actually be removed from the position of Public Enterprises Minister. Because part of the crisis of Eskom is the crisis which was as a result of the cost overruns of the Medupi and Kusile boat program. And Phakamile Gordon was finance minister at the time when those costs were ballooning. He approved those cost overruns. So as far as we're concerned, he is also central to the crisis of Eskom, and in the interest of Eskom, the minister must be removed.
Phakamile, we know that President Cyril Ramaphosa has been very vocal about Eskom and other SOEs, but specifically saying Eskom cannot be allowed to fail. When you look and really observe the dynamics of Eskom, the power utility, just looking into the technical challenges that it's experiencing, what do you see as some of the major sore points at the power utility?
Well, we believe that if the president is genuine when he says that Eskom cannot be allowed to fail, then why is it that government as the shareholder went and appointed technically incompetent people to run Eskom in the first place? When you look at the people who occupy executive positions at Eskom, including Phakamile, who we are very grateful has left the SOE because he was not helping at all, because he didn't understand anything about Eskom and electricity and generation. He is one of several executives who don't have a clue about how to run that SOE. And yet the state has made a decision to appoint these people to Eskom, and then they go and they tell us that Eskom cannot afford to fail. But the team that has been chosen to lead Eskom doesn't know what it's doing. Under their watch, we've seen massive problems in relation to load shedding, which they were unable to resolve. Secondly, one of the issues that we've raised is the problem of the Independent Power Producer Program. The fact that this IPP program has been forced down and ramped down. Those who've been appointed to run Eskom have been forced to implement IPPs, even though it is detrimental to the survival of Eskom. And this is because there are some within the ANC elite who are benefiting from the IPP program. And they're doing so at the expense of the consumer, at the expense of ordinary South Africans. Because of the IPP program, we now pay more for electricity in this country. Because of the IPP program, workers in Mpumalanga stand to lose close to 100,000 jobs because power stations have to be closed to make way for this renewable energy program. So, and our government has done nothing in the way of trying to create a plan, a social plan for these workers, perhaps to reskill them, perhaps to reabsorb them in a new sector. They haven't done any of that. So we really question when the president says that Eskom cannot afford to fail, and yet they go out of their way to make decisions which deliberately cripple the SOE.
Phakamile, you speak about the IPP, and we know that the public protector is going to reignite a conversation, really probing the IPPs. What are you hoping her probe will unveil in terms of a way forward now for the IPPs and Eskom?
Well, for us, we have always questioned the rationale behind the awarding of these contracts, particularly because it has an impact on Eskom's bottom line. And so we welcome the fact that the public protector will actually be looking into the awarding of these contracts. And we hope that her findings will actually shed light on whether indeed the processes were proper, and whether and also we are hoping that she will analyze the situation, because the fact of the matter is the IPP program are costing Eskom a lot of money. They are costing the consumer a lot of money, and we do not believe that it is in the interest of South Africans as a whole for this program to continue. During load shedding, for example, the IPPs were unable to kick in and assist us with the supply of electricity. So they're extremely costly. They're not adding value to the grid. Why do we have them? We cannot afford them, particularly at this point in time. So we are, as Numsa, very thankful that the public protector is looking into this issue. You'll know that even as last year in March, we actually went to the High Court in an attempt to block the minister from finalizing these contracts, because again, we were raising these very same questions.
Thank you so much. Let's leave it there. Thank you for your time. Numsa National Spokesperson Phakamile Hlubi-Majola making some really serious calls. They're calling for Public Enterprises Minister Pravin Gordhan to be sacked, as well as Jabu Mabuza. Of course, we'll continue to bring you more news after the break, the latest in your local and international stories, as well as stories making headlines across the continent. That and more coming up. Don't go away.